How's it going, everyone? Welcome back to yet another weekly warehouse update. Pretty exciting one this week. Let's take a look. So first off, over on the drop shelf, we have a rather large Discraft restock. I'm gonna just kind of walk you through some of the molds here. First off, fan favorite, my favorite, we got the Passion back. Really sick swirls on these always. If you're ever looking for a great flip up, just dead straight fairway driver, the Passion I think is the best on the market. I absolutely love it. It probably will never come out of my bag. We also have a restock of some Tour Series Lunas and some Zone OS Tour Series as well. So some Brody and Paul Tour Series stuff back in stock, a small restock of those. And then speaking of the Zone OS, it's now in a bunch of plastic. So this is the soft putter blend. This is just the stock putter blend. Obviously we have it in Z. And then also that's the Jawbreaker Zone. Boom, Jawbreaker Zone OS. So Jawbreaker, putter line, soft, and Z. These are a ton of fun to throw. If you're looking for one that you can like maybe beat the edge in a little bit so it's not quite as overstable, or you want to be able to like hit and sit a little bit grippier, you like that baseline zone, the Zone OS is gonna be perfect for that. Ton of fun. Also, if you're a dyer or you just love just blank discs, we've got a bunch of white ESPs. These are some Thrashers here, just plain white, so they're perfect for dyeing, or to be honest with you, I think they're sick to throw. ESP Zone, just blank white, ton of fun there. Again, we got some buzzes, some nukes, and last but certainly not least, some roaches. These are all just in the normal product. So if you're looking for like a separate product, just head to the roach. You'll see the white ESP, so on and so forth. They're obviously separate variants in there. And then on the bottom shelf here, Brody fans can rejoice. We've got some more of the Brody Swirl roaches and some more stock Get Freakies in stock again. A decent selection of those down here. And then last but not least, little Luna restock. Some Big Z and stock Lunas are back. Now let's head over to the other shelf and I'll show you some more Discraft. Now on this shelf over here, it's a pretty exciting moment for Discraft. They've brought back their very popular Z-Lite plastic, which Z-Lite is not necessarily going to be flippier, but it's gonna be easier for you to get discs up to speed. So if you're a newer player, there's gonna be some good options in here. Or if you're a more experienced player and you're looking for that Bomber Force or the Bomber Venom, or kind of in between, there's also some good ones in there for you. That's what these are kind of for. So people get that lightweight plastic in their mind and think it instantly means, oh, this is going to be a flippy X, Y, or Z. That's not necessarily true. The disc rim is still the same. It's just easier to get it up to speed, easier to throw it farther, and by nature, getting up to speed more typically makes it flip a little bit more. But don't be surprised if these things still have some bite. But we'll start it up top with, I think, one of the better beginner discs, the Z-Lite Heat. The Heat's already a great beginner disc. You put it in Z-Lite, now it's even easier to throw. And Z-Lite is basically just lightweight. So this one's 155. So this is a great option for newer players, or if you're looking for that heat that you can always count on to get all the way over, the Z-Lite Heat's probably be a good option for that. These are just stock Z buzzes, so don't get confused and think just Z-Lite buzzes. Oh, that'd be sick. We have some Z-Lite Venoms. This is more that class where the Venom, it's still gonna have that stability, but the Z-Lite's gonna give you a little bit extra distance, probably a little extra glide. I wouldn't recommend it as a headwind fighter, but if you love the Venom, and instead of having a Venom and a Force, or a Venom and a Zeus, you wanna have two Venoms, getting the Z-Lite option could be a really good option there. Moving over, we've got some Z-Lite Nukes. For all the Nuke fans out there, these are gonna absolutely bomb. And then some Z-Lite Cranks. The Crank's one of the most underrated discs on the market, just in general. The Z-Lite one is actually, it would be my choice for forehands. I don't quite know if I'm gonna put it in my bag yet, but we took it out to a field and threw it, and it was such easy forehand distance for me because I was able to get the crank on a forehand to fly like a crank flies like on a backhand, which means I could throw it flat and actually get it to turn a little bit because again, I was able to get more speed on this thing. So a Z-Lite Crank, ton of fun. If you're looking for a bomber disc, I would highly recommend that. Some Z-Lite Forces, similar story to the Z-Lite Venoms, where if you bag a Force and you're looking for that one to give you a little bit more glide, a little bit farther down the fairway, Z-Lite's gonna be your answer there. Moving over, some Z-Lite Thrashers. This is gonna be, for a lot of you watching, this is going to be the farthest flying disc you'll probably ever throw. The Thrasher already is underrated. People think it's just super flippy. It is flippy, but it's a usable flippy. Like, I've had a Thrasher in my bag up until a few months ago. I throw 420-ish, and I have plenty of use for the Thrasher. Incredible disc. A Z-Lite Thrasher, gonna be even more usable for a lot of you. You'll be able to get, instead of that just like typical hyzer flip up, you'll probably be able to get a little more speed on it. You get the turn, and the Z-Lite, in my experience, seems like it has more glide. It just doesn't really want to come out of the air, probably because of the weight. And so you'll be able to get it a little turn, and it'll probably just go forever. So if you're struggling with that distance, you can't quite get full flights out of anything, you know, the Thrasher, maybe you're getting it to flip up, or you're throwing it flat, just getting a little turn, try the Z-Lite one. I think you're really gonna like that. And then last but certainly not least, over here, we have the Z-Lite Scorch. Kind of falls similar into that Thrasher, but it's the next step up. So at the Thrasher, you're like, ha, honey, that's way too flippy. Don't let the Scorch's flight numbers fool you. This thing, they're nowhere near as flippy as everyone thinks. I would call it more 11.6, -1.2. That's more where I would put it. Doesn't have that bite like a Surge is going to, or a Wraith, but it doesn't have the flip like you think. The Surge is a very underrated disc. People sleep on it because of the flight numbers. Z-Lite Surges are gonna get bombed forever. I also think there's a Z-Lite Nuke OS somewhere as well, but you'll probably just be scrolling through some of your favorite products and discover, hey, they make it in Z-Lite now. All right, so that's just some of the Discraft that I wanted to highlight, but we basically just got a full Discraft restock in. So like if you're looking for things like Athenas, Zeus's, Zones, we got a whole bunch of new ones in stock. So you can check those out just on the site as well, but I'm not gonna walk through every single mold we just got. So if you're looking for a specific Discraft disc, chances are it's on the shelf now or about to hit it. What I do wanna highlight is some, we'll call them underrated discs here. One of these is probably the most underrated disc on the market, in my opinion. That's the Recluse. People love, love, love the overstability. People are flocking to MX1s. They're flocking to Justices, Saki Bomb Slammers, Peppermints, Zone OSs. The Recluse was, in my opinion, the best one on the market a few years ago. I might go back to it at some point. I have an MX1 in my bag right now. It feels incredible in the hand, really good forehand and backhand. It's gonna be faster than your Zone OS, faster than your Peppermint, faster than your Saki Bomb Slammer. It's gonna be kind of the closest disc on the market right now is the MX1, because what I found with the Recluse is the Justice didn't wanna go anywhere. It was still going a little farther than the Zone OS would, but because of the 5-speed, but you still like cranked it, just didn't have much glide. The Recluse added a little bit of glide, but didn't lose stability, which I thought was crazy, and that's what made me fall in love with it. I used to throw it in the Icon plastic, which is like their star plastic. This is the Legacy Pinnacle plastic. Legacy in general just doesn't get nearly enough love. I think people just don't really know it exists for some reason, but it's basically Innova Champ plastic and an MX1 is the best way to kind of describe it. It feels similar to an MX1 in your hand, but you're gonna be able to just rip on this thing, a little anhyzer, throw it flat. You're gonna get just consistent, overstable finish, and it's gonna go farther than that Justice Zone OS slot. So if that's what you're looking for, this is what you're looking for. The Recluse, we got them in a few different colors. They're incredible. If you're like, that's all fun and games, Hunter, but I hate glide, I want no glide, let me introduce you to this premium plastic Devil Hawk. Now, if you are watching this and you've tried Gateway before, I'm right there with you. You never know what you're gonna get. Sometimes Gateway's incredible, sometimes it's not that great, and it all depends on their run of plastics. I can personally vouch for every Devil Hawk in here. These feel good. So if you pick up this, actually this is their Nylon Blend Diamond, I believe is what it technically is, but it's glow too. So glow nylon Devil Hawk is what I'm gonna call it. But if you pick this up, all of these, I have felt them. There's not flashing like you typically will see. They're consistently like this. They're consistently flat to a little puddle top. And we took this out to a field. This is the disc that I thought the Berg was gonna be when people talked about the Berg. This disc actually has no glide. This disc actually won't go anywhere. And it has a really nice consistent finish to it, consistent bite. You can throw it backhand, throw it forehand. It's got that little thumb track, kind of like the Berg. It's not as concave as a Berg is. So if you are like me and you threw a Berg and you're like, people are talking about this disc has no glide, and then you threw it and it just sailed past the basket because shocker, the Berg has glide, try the Devil Hawk. This disc actually has no glide. It actually won't go anywhere, which is I think what a lot of you are looking for, and you think the Berg does, you'll be shocked when you try this thing out. So the Devil Hawk, incredible disc. And like I said, I can't personally vouch for every Gateway disc that ever comes through this warehouse because Gateway is a little inconsistent. I can personally vouch for all these. These all feel good in the hand. They all feel consistent. And yeah, I can also personally vouch for the flight. It's pretty incredible. Stepping down to the next disc in this kind of underrated section of 3 here, another legacy disc. This is in their Icon plastic, which is like their star plastic. The Gauge. The Gauge is kind of between a Mako 3 and a Meteor. In my experience, probably a little closer to a Mako 3. Really, really comfortable disc. Dead straight. One of the straightest mids on the market that no one's throwing. So if you want to be a little trendier, you know, all your buddies are throwing Mako 3s and Meteors and Hexes and all that stuff, and you're like, oh, let me just throw the same shot with the Gauge. No one's gonna know what you're throwing. It's gonna be cool. You're gonna be cool. Throw the Gauge. All right, next up on this ping pong table of greatness, we've got some Discmania restock coming in. We'll go left to right here. We started off with a little Glow Sensei, the samurai stamp. Really good hand feel on this. It's kind of like a putter mid hybrid, I would say. I believe the Sensei is the disc that Robbie C loves. So Robbie C vouches for this disc. I haven't thrown it a ton. I've thrown the Shogun, but really good feeling mold. Glow Senseis are back. I have thrown the PD a bunch. S-Line for Discmania is a little bit flippier, so if you've thrown the C-Line PD and it just wasn't quite what you're looking for, you want a little bit more glide, a little bit more turn, check out the S-Line. These white ones are really, really clean. We also just got the restock in of the S-Line DD1. So the DD1 is kind of like a Wraith. I haven't thrown the S-Line, I only threw the C-Line, but it should be kind of like the DD3's little brother. So if that's kind of what you're looking for, you know, you tried the S-Line DD3, you weren't in love with it, you wish it was a little more comfortable in your hand, or maybe you wish you could get a little bit of different flight out of it, you're more of an 11-speed fan, check out the DD1. We got these first run red ones, and then we also got some stock stamp ones. And last but not least over here, we've got Rainmaker restock, Trevor's putter of choice. Great feeling putter, basically just like a little bit of a modified P2, and these are in Color Glow D-Line Flex 3 plastic, so pretty stiff. And then Color Glow, even though this one's white, these are also glow as well. So Eagle McMahon's signature putter, Rainmaker. Last but not least, we have some very cool mint disc Mustang restock. This is like kind of like a Buzz, to be honest with you, flight wise. It's like a different hand feel Buzz. Very underrated disc. We talk about it all the time on this, but what's really cool, I've never seen anyone do this. Mint has this very unique stamp where it's a triple foil stamp. You just can't see the third foil because it's UV reactive. So once you hit the UV with it, you get that like horse skeleton to come out. Very unique, very cool. I've never seen a disc golf company do this. It just opened up a whole new world of possibilities. We already have some ideas we want to try, but very cool because you have like a little secret message kind of. Oh, it's just a horse? Skeleton horse, boom. Very sick. So we have a very few limited amount of those, and then just the chest piece Mustang restock, which Trevor was very excited for the chest Mustang. You can add Trevor on the chess app and probably spank him. And then last but not least, we have the Longhorn. Mint's got some of the coolest stamps in the game. Very, very cool. I don't even know, I'm not even gonna try to say what car it is, but it's got the Longhorns on it. My brother-in-law actually has a bull with horns just like that, so I should probably get him one of these because he'd probably love it. But anyways, Longhorn, great feeling disc, better flying disc, cooler looking stamp. Check it out. And we're gonna wrap it up over here with our most popular hats of all time, I would say. I'm rocking one today, actually, I think, yeah. So these are just like a performance dad hat is what I'm gonna call it, but basically it's a performance, has a little bit of flex. It is very rare to find a hat that fits me all the way up to Brody and everyone in between. But this hat does that. Everyone in Foundation, typically hats come in and they either fit me great or they fit Brad, Trevor, and Brody great. And there's not really one that ever fits both of us great until this hat. So also, this hat not only fits a lot of people's head sizes, but I've worn this hat for a lot of disc golf rounds, and basically the only mark of wear and tear is where I dropped it in some dirt like 2 days ago. But what I've found with hats like this is this performance material. You hit that with just some water in your sink and the sweat or dirt or whatever comes right out, and boom, you're good to go. I wear this hat to dinner and to disc golf. Very few hats you can do that with. So I'm not gonna stand by and say they're never gonna show sweat stains because I haven't had them for years to know that they're never going to. But up front, I sweat a lot. It's been a very hot summer. None of them have sweat stains on them yet. So I can at least vouch for that. We got them in some new colors. We have what I'm gonna call this electric blue. I don't know what's gonna end up on the site, but it doesn't even look like a real color. It's so bright. So if you're a bright hat person, boom, bright blue. The restock of the classic black, that's the one I'm rocking today. Sunbeam down here. This is actually the color that introduced us to these hats. I bought this hat, I think it was actually a Jomez hat I bought that was in this bright yellow, and once I got back I was like, I need to find this hat because this is my favorite hat, we have to run them. So Sunbeam, boom. Your classic gray, this is the one that people always get scared of showing sweat stains, and again, I've worn it on a lot of disc golf rounds, and if I ever see a little sweat mark coming through, typically it just dries and goes away. If not, I've hit it with water and then it looks brand new and I wear it to dinner that night. So I feel like this was the one that was most susceptible to getting dirty, and for me personally, it hasn't yet. I can't vouch that it's not going to for you, but for me, it hasn't. I absolutely love these hats. Sunbeams, that one, I think this one's Sherbert. I don't know what we ended up calling it, but this one was actually, I think, I'm trying to think who it was. Someone came up to me, and the whole reason we ordered the restock was they were upset because when we did the last restock, we didn't get this color, and they were like waiting for it. Restock hit, and they're like, how did you not order that color? It's the best color. There you go, it's back. Whoever you were, boom. And then a brand new color to us as well, the navy, another one of the classic colors. Yeah, it might look a little, there you can tell it's different from the black, but it's just a true dark navy. So now if you're more of a, basically what we did here is if you're a traditional hat fan, you just want a hat that's gonna go with everything, you got your gray, black, or navy. If you're a little more fun, you like to have a little fun in your life, you got the Sherbert Sunbeam Electric Blue. So there you have it. Be sure to always check out the accessories and apparel and stuff like that. It's some of the best way to rep foundation out on the course and or off the course with hats like this. That's gonna wrap it up for this week's warehouse update. There's more that hit the shelves that I didn't get to cover in this, so be sure to head over to foundationdisc.com, check out the recent restock, or if you go there and you're like, I don't really know what I'm looking for, but I know I want a disc that's gonna fly farther for me or go straighter for me or be able to hold a turnover. We actually just dropped a disc recommendation quiz. So you go to our website, it's the first thing up there, just take the quiz, plug in what you're looking for, and it'll spit out a recommendation for you. And tag us over on Instagram, let us know what you got. We'll see you then.